Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana, everyone. It's 6:12 on this Friday, the 25th of February, and there's a deadline looming on Capitol Hill. A week from today is the day funding expires for much of the federal government.
If there's no agreement, expect a shutdown of federal programs and services and workers being forced off the job, including Hoosiers. And joining us this morning is freshman Republican Congressman Todd Rokita, formerly the state's Secretary of State. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning and Happy New Year to you both. It's been since last year since I saw you.
It's nice to see you again. Nice to see you again. How close are both sides to working out a deal here?
Well, listen, I'll just say for the freshman class and for myself, representing the 4th District of Indiana, we do not intend to shut down government. We do intend, as we were elected to do, to cut spending. And the bill we passed and sent over to the Senate last week cuts $100 billion out of the discretionary part of the budget. Now, that's a lot of money. It's never been done before. But if you really look at it, Grace, the fact of the matter is it's 1/15th, just 1/15th of our deficit this year. So it's not a lot of money in terms of what really we owe the Chinese and ourselves and that kind of thing. So if we can't get through this, when we have $14 trillion worth of debt that this country owes, then the American people really got to take a closer look. And the fact of the matter is 2/3 of this decision on whether we shut down is up to the Democrats. It's the Democratic Senate and the President of the United States. We are just 1/3 of the decision, and the only one talking about shutdown are them.
Well, what happens if you can't come to an agreement with the Democrats and you don't pass a stopgap spending bill? On March 5th, essentially, the federal government shuts down. What does that mean?
Well, you know, I haven't even investigated it that far yet, because I am hopeful, again, that they're going to listen to the American people. We're going to cut spending. $100 billion over 12 months is not that much money. We can get there. If we got to take, like what the movie said, baby steps, we'll do it. But, you know, even if the worst comes to worst, to answer your question, there are statutes in place so that the truly essential services do not stop.
Mail. Air traffic controllers,
those kinds of things.
FBI.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Just the non-essential employees stop working, which for me begs the question, why do we have any non-essential employees in the first place?
Interesting question. And we understand that you and other representatives sent a letter to the NFL asking that both sides come to an agreement so that we have a season. Why did you want to do this?
Oh, well, for Indiana, we have a Super Bowl coming, of course. And if these two sides do not get their issues worked out, it's going to impact this city. It's going to impact this state. The question becomes, will we have a Super Bowl here in this state? And I just don't want to see that come to pass. And either it was a bipartisan letter. The entire delegation feels the same way. Gentlemen, let's get together. Let's get this worked out.
Now, this is more for encouragement, though. There's nothing you can legally do to force them.
Please understand. Yeah, there's nothing legal.
Just encouragement.
This is still private sector. It's a private business, and I'm one that tries to keep government out of private business. But as a leader of the community, just like the rest of the delegation, we feel that they ought to know that we care about this.
And did you get a response?
I don't believe we have yet. I don't believe we have it. Now, I did have some of the NFL players, some of the Colts players in my office, and so because of that fact alone, I'm biased to their side.
But you're a big fan.
We did have a very good conversation, and I understand their position, and I look to understand Mr. Irsay's as well.
And real quickly, what do you think about what's going on right now at the State House?
Well, I'll tell you, as the former Indiana Secretary of State for the last 8 years, there was an election last fall, and people ought to show up for work. And I would say the exact same thing if the Republicans were pulling these antics. Now, I understand the Republicans aren't going in today, but that's because of the snow and it's Friday, and why come to work if you can't do anything anyway? People were elected to do a job, and you should amend the process, you should vote your conscience, you should work within the system, but you ought to do the people's business.
All right.
Congressman Todd Rokita.
Good to see you.
We thank you.